Welcome back to Garifuna Duo playlist on YouTube channel for Gahfu Garifuna. Today we are going to talk about popular food items found in Garifuna households. And with us we have Miss Mamaga Garifuna who will break it down for us.
So, one of the most popular food items that you will find in almost all Garifuna household is consomme. Consomme is an item that we use to season all of our meats, including our poultry, our fish, our beefs, and everything like that. There's a variation of consomme. They have the chicken consomme, they have the seafood consomme, and they also have the beef consomme. Not to mention they also have the garlic consomme. So it just adds flavor to the food and just to me makes everything, taste better. Like my mom would say, a little bit of consomme goes a long way and it gives your food gumption.
All right, so that's one of the popular items. Let's jump to our next popular item found in the Garifuna household.
Another thing that you'll find common is achiote or red Ricardo. Again, that adds depth to your food. It just makes it more rich. It gives it an earthy taste. And it's available in any mercardo, any market. It's just really, really delicious and it just adds flavor to the food. I recall one time when I first relocated to Long Beach, I was looking for achiote, and I went to the store, and I was trying to look for it at a regular, everyday market, not knowing that I had to go to basically a Latino market or sometimes a Filipino market. So I was asking for achiote, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know what that is," And then I said it in English. I said Red Recado, Red Recado. So they're like, "Oh, Red Ricardo, okay, just 1 minute." And next thing you know, they brought this guy over to me whose name was Ricardo. So it was hysterical. We both laughed about it. And I was like, no, I wasn't asking for a guy named Ricardo. I was asking for this particular item, So that's a cute little story I wanted to share.
Yeah, Red Recado is the famous achiote, and it's basically found in many of the Caribbean markets, including Central American markets and the Guatemalan markets as well. Next food item on the list.
One of the things that you'll always find is coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of the staple items that you'll find within our Garifuna household because we basically use coconut oil for everything, for cooking, frying, when we're making our breads and all that kind of stuff. Coconut oil is a staple.
Now, with coconut oil is that in the United States, coconut oil had a bad reputation. The media, television, and news channels, of course, always talked bad about coconut oil because they saw it as a ingredient that could actually be bad for people's health. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, now, number one most important thing to take away from that is it's not true because now coconut milk is the most popular, one of the most popular, oils here in the United States and stuff like that. It was just basically a whole bunch of propaganda. I won't get into the whole politics about it, but those of us who, were raised up on coconut oil from the Caribbean, from the Pacific, from the Philippines, from all those areas and everything like that, we always knew the benefits of coconut oil. And when they started to badmouth coconut oil, coconut products, we knew that it was just a media BS. But coconut oil is one of the best natural oil that you could consume. It's not going to do anything for you. Evidenced by all of the indigenous people have been using it forever.
Can you tell us real quick, and I want to concentrate on coconut oil because I know it's flavorful. What are some of the things that you cook with it?
Well, like I say, I make all of my breads. Like when I make my coconut bread, of course, I use coconut milk, and I also put a little bit of coconut oil in there. When I make my flour tortillas, and when I make my Johnny cakes and my fried jacks, I use coconut oil in there. I don't use corn oil. I always, my go-to oil here is either coconut oil and or olive oil. But majority of the times that I'm making anything is with coconut oil.
Nice, nice. Thank you. All right, let's jump to the next item. Popular food items in Garifuna households.
So I'm going to say vinegar, and also I'm going to say vinegar as well as lemon, because I say vinegar and lemon is because vinegar and lemon is what I use and what I know the elders, my aunties, my grandmother, the older women that I knew always cleaned their food with either vinegar or lemon. So in all of the Garifuna households that I was in, when the women were cooking, they always had vinegar and or lemon. And they would usually double wash or double clean their food, first starting off with cleaning it off, either rinsing it off with vinegar and then followed by, cleaning it off with lemon. So that's what I'm accustomed to. So again, that's staple in the households that I've been in throughout my lifetime, and it's popular here in my household as well.
Yeah, and what a difference it makes when you actually clean the fish or any seafood with the lemon, because the smell practically goes away. So that's a very positive thing to share. All right, let's go to the next popular food item in Garifuna households.
I would say flour. Flour is one of the, again, staple. I don't think there's not a Garifuna household that you will enter that does not have flour, and I'm just saying, I'll say regular flour, for cooking and everything like that, of course, to make our coconut bread, to make our fried jack, our flour tortilla, and so forth. And then I also have to add masa flour. We have masa flour, of course, to make our masa, for our various things that we use masa for. So those are things that you'll pretty much find. And all with that, I'll say baking powder. Of course, you can't do any of your baking without baking powder. So again, other popular items that you'll find in the household.
Flour. In Garifuna, foluaru. All right, let's go to our next popular food item found in Garifuna households with Mama Garifuna.
Of course, I will just mention these ones, not in any particular order, but nutmeg, vanilla, cinnamon, ginger, and brown sugar. Of course, those are popular in all of the things that we bake. We bake a lot of things in our homes. So, like I say, just to make again, the flour tortilla, to make the Johnny cakes, to make the pan de coco or the coconut bread, the sweet breads and stuff like that. We pretty much use all of those items. Again, nutmeg, vanilla, cinnamon, ginger, brown sugar. Yeah, you're going to find them inside somebody's cabinet. It's not in everybody's cabinet.
Totally agree with you. I think ginger is very flavorful, plus it's healing, plus it's good for energy in many ways. Okay, let's go to the last popular food item found in Garifuna households.
I would say habanero peppers or any kind of peppers. We love our heat. We love to, add a little bit of spice, make it a little bit, spicy. So I say habanero pepper is definitely one of those items that you will find in the Garifuna household. And also, I forgot to mention condensed milk. Condensed milk is very popular with our drinks, our hot drinks that we make. That's one of the things that we use a lot too, like when we make our porridges, when we make our flour porridge, our rice porridge, our corn porridges, we use condensed milk along with the other ingredients that I mentioned, nutmeg, vanilla, ginger, and so forth. But condensed milk is usually used instead of sugar, to sweeten up whatever porridge that we're making.
Very good. And then I think we have brown sugar, right? Or did you already mention brown sugar?
I think I mentioned brown sugar, but if I did not, brown sugar is often used traditionally than white sugar. When we're in Central America, that's usually what we always find. And that's majority of the Garifuna people that I know, that I've come across, they tend to aim towards brown sugar, which is more natural than the white sugar. So, yeah, those are, pretty much the popular items we'll find in the Garifuna household. We'll go through the list again, not in any particular order, but we spoke about consomme. We spoke about the achiote or red Ricardo. We spoke about vinegar, lemon, coconut oil, flour, baking powder, habanero pepper, condensed milk, nutmeg, vanilla, cinnamon, ginger, and brown sugar. Of course, if you have things that you think that we should add to the list, let us know, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that we missed out, but these are just a few of the popular items that we think that you will find in the Garifuna household.
Well, yes. Also, if you have any comments to make sure you leave your comments down below this video so we could actually get ideas on how to improve these podcasts. And again, all of these items that we listed before, you could find them in any Latin market, Latino market, Mexican or Asian, Caribbean. And basically, the big stores have the majority of these items as well, to the exception of consomme. Consomme is mostly found in Latin markets, markets from the Caribbean and Central America. So is the achiote. The achiote or Red Recado is found in a little paste box or little container, mostly of Mexican origin. We get it from the Guatemalan as well stores. And then coconut oil is popular now everywhere. You could get it at the big supermarkets, even Smart and Final. Flour, habanero peppers found everywhere. Condensed milk is found anywhere. And so that is our podcast for today. Thank you for listening.
Alrighty then, enjoy and bon appetit. I hope you cook something delicious using one or two of these items or all of these items. Take care.
Ayo. Subscribe, like, and share. Suscríbete, dale like y comparte. Donate to this project by scanning this code from Cash App. Also, if you don't have Cash App, we take PayPal. We also have a learning tool called the Garifuna Language Workbook, which is available on Amazon. Look it up under Garifuna Language Workbook.